up everyone, I hope you're doing alright and having a good day. Welcome back to my channel, and if you've not been here before, hello, my name is Hutch and I like to play The Sims. I've done another build for spooky season. This time I went for an autumnal or fall tiny house, whatever you call this season. I don't know the adjective version of fall, like it's autumnal for autumn. What even is it for fall? No idea, because I'm English and we don't call it that here. But anyway, I decided to build a tiny house and decorate it for autumn, and even the interior is autumnal as well. But I didn't want to go like too over the top with it, like every aspect of the house is related to autumn and there's pumpkins everywhere and Halloween stuff and all that. So it's not too in your face, I hope, but I do quite like how it turned out. So this house is a tier 2 tiny house, so it's 64 tiles in total. It's built using seasons, Discover University, Eco Lifestyle and Get Together. It has 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom, and I built it in Newcrest. I decided to build a tiny house because I haven't built one for ages and I really enjoy building them, but I realised that I've not actually done one that's less than a 3-tier tiny house before. So I've always done one where it's like 100 tiles or less, so I wanted to challenge myself a bit and try and do one that's no more than 64 tiles. I did initially start off using Outdoor Retreat as well because I wanted to use that stone foundation, and I planned on using some Outdoor Retreat decorative things, but I ended up just using more expansion packs, so I ended up just ditching the idea of using Outdoor Retreat anyway, as I were only going to use it for one thing, so there were no real point. Oh, I forgot to say as well that this house is built on a 20 by 15 lot, and I did write it down this time. I always forget like the lot size, and I usually just guess that it's 30 by 20 because that's the lot size that I build on the most often, but I made a note on my phone that it's 2015, or 20 by 15 should I say. I'm currently recording in my new room, and I did mention it in my last video, but in case you didn't watch that one, there is an echo in this room because there's basically nothing in it. I'm currently pretty close to my microphone, and I've got some foam panels around my mic to try and help as much as possible, and I've got like my dressing gown propped up in a certain way so it tries to absorb as much of the echo as possible. I'm likely going to be recording like this for a while. I could just record the voiceover in a different room where there's like more furniture and therefore less echo, but my microphone is attached to an arm which is attached to my desk, and it's like a whole thing to take it off. And honestly, setting up everything has just not been as much fun as I thought it would be. I'm so like stressed out about it, and I know why, and I need to stop like not allowing myself to be stressed about things and just let myself feel how I feel. But for the most part, autistic people do not like changes. Obviously I'm speaking in general terms, not every autistic person is the same, but for me, I don't like changes. I don't like changes to my routine, changes to my environment. And yeah, usually, and I still am, but usually I record my builds in the living room. We have a corner settee in there, and I sit in the corner with my legs up. I build and record and edit the footage on my laptop in the same spot every single time, and then when I record my voiceover, I usually record it in my bedroom. If I still have a picture of my old setup, I'll put it on screen now, but if not, basically I had a small desk in the corner of my room, and then I've got a monitor, and I'd put my laptop on the desk, connect my microphone and like record the voiceover. Well, actually I'd put my laptop on the floor so that the mic didn't pick up the laptop fan, but I'd connect the laptop to the monitor so that I could see what was like going on like in the speed build and that. But yeah, eventually I will be recording things on my big computer, and I'll be recording voiceovers or my voice in general when I do Let's Plays in the room that I'm in now where my PC is. So I need to get used to that. So at the minute I'm still recording on my laptop. I still need to set up like Reshade properly, and I don't think I'll ever be able to play Sims 4 without that, but I need to do all that, and eventually I'll be playing and recording everything in my other room. So I'm just going to call it my office instead of my room or my other room. But yeah, eventually I'll be recording everything from the office, so there's no real point like recording a voiceover in another room because I'll just have to get used to that, and then I'll have to get used to recording in here anyway. And yeah, I might as well just skip messing about and just recording here just from the get-go. Eventually there'll be more furniture in here, and yeah, maybe my logic is flawed and maybe I'm overcomplicating it. In fact, I know that I'm overcomplicating it, but this is what I'm doing, so hopefully it's not as bad. In the last video, I listened back to it and it was only noticeable with headphones, and even then it weren't that like echoey. It's not too bad, and I'm pretty sure like most people don't mind, but I get so in my own head about stuff, and I'm a massive perfectionist, so I'm like my own worst enemy really. But anyway, now that I've rambled on about how awkward and daft I am actually going to talk about this build before the video ends. So I'm currently building the kitchen and I'm using the base game counters in the new updated swatches, and I think the swatch that I'm using is actually my favourite swatch out of all of them. I really like the light wood. But yeah, I pushed the dining table into the corner and I put some little downsized pumpkins on the table, which I think look really cute. Sometimes when you put stuff on a dining table, it will like block the Sims plate so that they won't be able to use the table. Sometimes they'll go and sit in an alternative seat, or they'll sit at the table and like hold their plate instead. But because the pumpkins are not actually on the table, they're not in the way, so the Sims will be able to eat there just fine. And I just added some shelves to put like decorative things on. And I used orange accents in the build just to bring the autumn vibes indoors. And it took me quite a while to settle on the wallpaper for in here as well. I eventually settled on those base game ones, those tiles that we got in an update ages ago. Those are my go-to for kitchens really, either them or the subway tiles. And then on the other side of the room where I'll eventually have the living room, I went with this like brown type colour. Not really sure what the colour is called, but you'll see that soon. I forgot to add a thermostat as well and a smoke detector, which I always forget to add. Some people forget to add bins and stuff. For me, it's the smoke detector. Although I do often forget to like add an outdoor bin as well. But yeah, if you do ever download my builds, just check if there's a smoke detector, because most of the time I do forget. And I don't want to be responsible for your Sims turning into ash. But yeah, I forgot a thermostat as well, which I always forget if I'm using seasons, because I don't really like do gameplay all that often, so I just forget that they exist and that you kind of need them when the weather's like hot or cold if you've got seasons installed. Then for the living area, I eventually changed the settee because I wanted to use the fabricated ones from Eco Lifestyle. I always forget that they exist, and then I'll question if they're even part of a pack or if I've made them up. But if you're ever building and you want to use fabricated or crafted items like the woodworking furniture, for example, you can just put in the debug cheats, like show hidden objects and show live edit objects. If you just Google debug cheats, they'll come up, but they unlock or rather show craftable furniture in the game, so like the stuff that comes with Eco Lifestyle. And I really like how this part of the house turned out. I think it looks so cozy when you've got like the big windows letting in all that light, and it just looks so nice, especially with like the sun setting on a sunny day. The debug cheats also let you get the crafted stuff from the art tables, so if you have seasons installed, those art tables that like kids use, they can make like fall crafts or winter crafts, and usually you have to make them in order to get them, but if you put in the cheats then they're already there, so you don't have to get a sim make them. And that goes for the base game stuff as well, I'm pretty sure. I was going to add a bunch of fall crafts, but I figured they were a bit on the childish side and this house is just intended for a single like adult sim. I've just installed the Better Build Buy mod by Twisted Mexi, so the debug stuff is meant to be like better organised, I believe, but I've literally like just installed it then turned the computer off, so I've not had a proper look at all the features yet, but it expands the UI a bit like in build mode and like shows more items, so that's good. And then Twisted Mexi also made Tool mod, which is a pretty popular mod amongst builders. Not one that I've actually used. I'm a little bit intimidated by it, to be honest, but it does look amazing, so I might have to get that eventually. But I didn't realise just how many mods that they've made. Like, I was having a little scroll through the website and I was just so impressed, like, or was it a Tumblr? I can't remember, but I was just so impressed like how much they've made for the game to like improve things and also just like add extra things to make building easier or better. I really want to get into like exploring mods in CC, because up to now I've only ever really used like MC Command Center, and then I've had some CC glasses, I've used posers, and then I've had like 2 CC hairstyles. I've always just found it a bit overwhelming just because there's so much, but I might have to get into that more. So I've just added that brown wallpaper, browny grey wallpaper, I don't even know what colour it is. But yeah, it's not one that I'd usually use, but I actually quite like it. I think it adds like a cosy feel to the room, and it goes pretty well with the orange accents and the light wood tones. Might just be me, everyone else might think it looks vile, but I really like it. Oh, and I've just realised as well, Red Shelf is a mod. I'm going on about like what mods I use. Red Shelf is one in it. but I've just used that for ages. I don't even like really think about it, but it just makes building so much easier. So if you've not got that and you like building, I'd definitely recommend that one, especially if you don't want to add like too much like things to your game. Say if your computer can't handle too much, the red shelf's a pretty like basic thing. But yeah, the red shelf is just so like, I don't know, like allows you to make your builds just a little bit more interesting and make things look more like realistic and just easier to place objects on top of stuff. But let me know if there's any mods that you think I ought to check out or any that you'd recommend. Like I said, I'm a bit of a noob, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I mainly build in The Sims, so I'm not too fussed about like gameplay mods. Oh, and I've had this mod before where you can control cats and dogs, but I only really used it for like screenshot purposes. It's a bit finicky, so I wouldn't recommend that one for gameplay if you want to actually play as a dog, for example, but that might just because I was using an older version or something like that, I'm not sure, but either way it did the job for what I like needed it for. Also, I included footage of me playtesting in the bathroom. I don't normally playtest as I build, I usually do it after because I'm fairly like familiar with how routing works and kind of what you can get away with in terms of like move objects on and that. But I had a strong sense that the bathroom wouldn't be functional, so I had to like move around a bit and just decided to show the process just so that you can see that it is functional and everything. But yeah, I can't remember who made that controlling pet mod, but I might actually start and add like a little section in the description of my videos, like what reshade I've got and what mods I use and just all that sort of thing, just so that I don't have to like try and remember everything when I'm talking about it. I can just like reference it in the description. And sometimes people do ask questions like what reshade I use, what editing stuff I use, like just I guess questions in general. So I'll probably do like a little Instagram highlight of like FAQs as well. And I'm just doing the bedroom now, and like I said, this house is intended for a single adult sim, so there's only room for like one sim to live here. But I think you can fit a double bed in this room if you push it against the wall where that like single bed is. I'm not sure if they ever fixed it where you can have a bed against the wall and then sims would like scoot over to the other side to allow another sim to like fit in the bed as well. I know that was part of the game at one point, but I'm not sure if they ever fixed it. But if that has been fixed and you can do that, you'll be able to have a double bed in here if you wanted two sims to live here. But I'd recommend using move objects on just to push everything up so that the sims can access the desk that I put in this room as well. Then I'm just adding more accessories to the kitchen shelves just because I forgot to add them when I was doing the kitchen. That's something that I like about building tiny houses and the challenge of them. Finding a way to fit decorative items and making the house feel lived in and giving it like personality and stuff. Because when you have a limited space, that can be really difficult to do that. But I really enjoy fitting like clutter into small spaces and just still having it be functional. Then for the back garden, I just repeated the same landscaping as what's out front really, with that like low down border fence thing around the plants, and I added some of those planter boxes from Eco Lifestyle, though I'm not sure if your sims can fit around them to plant stuff in each plot. They might need moving up a little bit. Then I made this gazebo or awning type thing, whatever it's called, to fit a barbecue under, and I covered it with some decorative leaves in the orange colours so that even when autumn's done you can still have autumn leaves there, and they'll be there all year round. And yeah, once that's done it'll be the end of the build. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this build and this video. Please leave a like if you did, and don't forget to leave any build suggestions in the comments if you have any. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!